Hello, Taos. This is Staci Matlock, editor of the Taos News, and we are back with what is now our bi-weekly education forum with some of the local education experts in our wonderful community. We look forward to hearing from all of them today. We have Dr. Lillian Torrez from Taos Municipal Schools, Victoria San Esteban, also Gonzales, also from UNM Taos. We have CJ Grace, the high school principal, and Anita Bingas, the strategic support manager for UNM Taos. And we welcome you all again. For those of you who've joined us before, you know that if you have a question that you would like to ask any of our guests, you can simply post it on Facebook, or you can text me at 505-470-9843, and I will ask the question for you. And I believe, ladies, I have forgotten now. I believe we're starting with Dr. Torrez. Is that correct? Yes, okay. Hi, Dr. Torrez, and welcome.
Hi. Thank you for inviting us today. And thank you to Staci, Taos News, Anita from UNM Taos, Victoria for being here with us, and my special guest, CJ Grace, the principal of Taos High School. I wanted to begin by just giving a few acknowledgements and quick updates. Remember that we continue to stay in the remote model here at Taos Municipal Schools, and in January, we will probably be in the remote model for at least 3 to 4 weeks, and until further notice. So just wanted to make sure that everybody knew we're not coming back with the hybrid model right the first day back from spring break. We're actually going to assess it at that time. We have a new series at Taos Municipal Schools, the Superintendent's weekly series that will start next week, and it's called Soul Soup with the Superintendent. So please do not miss our first series. We filmed it yesterday. We will be putting it out on the website. So that should be coming out in the next couple of days. And remember that our website is brand new and we're working on it. We're trying to get it as accurate as possible. So we hope that you like it. And I just want to let you know that we'll be giving you some results on our communication at Taos Municipal Schools. We just got the results in, and we want to improve everywhere we possibly can. So we ask for specific information, and we'll be sharing that with all of you here very soon. Our SEL Taos, Social Emotional Learning, is going strong. We continue to work with Ned and Mark that you met last week. And we have small groups that are starting. We're working, doing some outside work. We have some singing programs and other programs that are starting up. And we are really appreciative of all our volunteers. Our volunteers are the ones that are helping us. For instance, Taos Alive, some of those volunteers and the coordinator of Taos Alive is involved in that. So we do have a lot of wonderful programs going. Also, I wanted to say thank you to T-Mobile. They have given us $8,000 to help with our backpack giveaway, which we had to cancel on the 30th last Friday, but not this next week, but the week after, we will be having our backpack giveaway filled with supplies. Also, we will have the Lions Club working with our pre-K and first graders to give them their eye tests, and they will provide eyeglasses and everything that our children need for free. So we are so fortunate to have the Lions Club do everything they do. I think 240 children they helped last year. So we're very thankful to them. And last, I wanted to say thank you to the community, Taos Community Foundation. They have given every charter and Taos Municipal Schools some donation to be able to have every school order what they need. And every school is so different, and each of their needs is very different. So the high school received about a little over 26,800, down to our tiniest school, $347. So depending on the number of students they have is the amount of money they got. So we're very excited, and the leadership teams are already working on what it is that they need at their schools. So we would just want to thank the Taos Community Foundation for all of their work. We have so many community members and volunteers helping us. So thank you to all our community members, our parents, our students. We have so many wonderful things. In fact, the Soul Soup with the Superintendent is going to be filmed by our students. So we are very excited of all the wonderful things that are happening at Taos Municipal Schools. And today we have a special guest with us that's going to talk to us about Career Technical Education, CTE. And at this time, CJ Grace, our wonderful high school principal, will be telling you all about the programs that we have at Taos Schools. CJ?
Thanks, Dr. Torrez. Thanks, Staci and everyone for having me on today. What an exciting opportunity to talk to the community. Taos High School has had a long tradition of career technical education and some wonderful, extraordinary teachers at the school in the past and currently who are totally dedicated to students. And we have had programs in our wood shop, we've had programs in our welding shop, and a little vignette. I was pretty excited the other day when an electrician came to my house to do a repair, and we realized that he had found his start in electrical work at Taos High School, and that he was a Taos High graduate about 7 years ago. So it was really exciting to see that ripple effect of where kids start and where they can get to. So some people hear career technical education or the term that we used to use, VOTech, and they go, what is this and why is this important? Shouldn't kids be focused on academics? And I think one of the shifts that we've made in education and in our programming is to see our career technical education classes as part of our academics. They're real world classes where students learn technical skills and they get to apply them in almost project-based learning because of the hands-on work in the classes. We have a number of exciting partnerships right now and classes, and we were very fortunate in that, thanks to Mrs. Tracy Galligan, our computer science teacher's work in grant writing last summer, the school district received a very large grant offering from PED. So about $140,000 came into Taos High School and also into Vista Grande High School. One of the partnerships that we're super excited about is that Lannel approached us 2 years ago to talk to us about a special class that they'd like to see us offer through our welding program, which would prepare students in partnership with the National Builders Trade Union for technical careers and jobs after graduation from Lannel. So that's something that Mr. Sandoval has implemented with his class this year, and those students are on track to be hired into apprenticeships and union work at Lannel after graduation. Another opportunity that we have at the high school that's taught by Mr. Andy Leonard, which is really extraordinary, is a clean energy program. So he's taking all of the different aspects of STEM, and it's brought to life in an incredible clean energy curriculum where they're looking at energy sources and windmills and all different kinds of things in the classes, and they build the most extraordinary demonstrations. So that's our CLEAN program. This year, we also entered into a partnership with the Blue Sky Foundation, and we're continuing the aviation course pathway that we have at Taos Middle School. So our students are taking aviation classes in preparation for work in the field of flight. As well, we have a couple of different things that are going on also. Last year in our CTE grants, we were able to purchase a high tunnel growing frame for our agriculture program and a 30-foot biodome. And ultimately, when the biodome is built, we will have an aquaponics system with fish, and we'll also have garden grow towers. So we're really excited about working with our community partners to build those structures out and to begin to grow food here at the high school. As well, recently I was super excited to have UNM approach me because Dr. Glenaba Martinez, who is a professor in the School of Education and also a Taos Pueblo tribal member, approached us because she wanted to see, in partnership with LANL, if area schools would be able to support building a Native American Educators Rising strand for interested Native students who would someday like to become educators. And so we will be offering our very first class this in January in that pathway. Also, our biomedical sciences is a very popular strand, and it's been taught by different people here at the high school, but really shepherded and developed by Carla Chavez and Margot Valdez. So the students love their forensic classes, and they also love their CNA classes as they're preparing for careers that they might someday be interested in having. So I'm happy to say more or answer questions. I don't know if any of those are out there, but I'll take a moment just to do a public service announcement. The Department of Health is sponsoring a flu shot clinic here at Taos High School on Saturday between 10 and 1. The flu shots are free. It's open to the community, whether you're a student, staff, or a family member. So please come by and get your flu shot to help protect everyone during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. And so do we want to do questions now or wait till the end?
I haven't seen any questions yet, Dr. Torrez. So if one comes across, certainly ask it. So far, everybody out there in Taos has been incredibly shy about asking questions, and they're never shy. So I don't know, but yes, if we do get a question, I will just ask it toward the end.
Let me know if you'd like me to say a little bit more about the high school at the moment. I just, we have so many wonderful programs and classes happening that if students and families are interested in learning more about those, by all means, visit our website. My contact information is there. I'm happy to talk to you. We've got extraordinary programs happening both on the one side in terms of academic supports. So if kids need a little more help with math or with reading, we've got 2 very special programs happening on site for those. And if students are academically ready and seeking challenge, we have an incredibly strong honors and AP curriculum at the high school. I think that we're really fortunate. We have our enrollment is up right now. We have close to 780 students enrolled. And our students and our teachers are coming together in cyberspace and using our systems to make this remote learning happen. And we know that it's hard for staff and it's hard for students because their preferred mode is when we're face-to-face and we can interact in hallways. But it's really extraordinary what the teachers have built. And it's amazing the way the kids are showing up. So I'm really grateful to be here with them and with their families right now.
CJ, I want to talk about tell the parents about the coffee conversations.
So we have a monthly coffee and conversation. I host those in Zoom, and I post the invitations to those in our robocalling school messenger system. So first Tuesday, generally those are at 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. so that we have that happening for parents who are available in the morning and parents who are available in the evenings. As well, if you're a parent and you're listening and you're wondering about something, if you or your student have a question for their teacher, you can find their information on our website to email them. If you have a question about the classes your student's taking or something else that's going on at school, you're welcome to contact one of our grade level counselors or any of us, and we'd be happy to help you.
Okay, CJ, thank you so much. I do have a question, but also I would encourage you or Dr. Torrez to go ahead and post maybe a link to the website there on Facebook and maybe a couple of the numbers that you just mentioned And that way, if folks come back and watch this, they'll see the numbers right there in the link that they can go to. So, and
Yeah, thank
CJ, yeah, Anita is the one who got me started realizing, oh yes, we should be encouraging everybody to post all of their web links and their phone numbers. And so because of the need for social distancing and all of that, how is that playing out in your technical classes where they are project-based and more hands-on? How have the teachers and students worked around this?
Teachers are approaching it a little bit differently depending on the content area. And what they're doing is they're posting videos or demonstrations of the work that they're studying. Also, we're very fortunate because we have access to some online curriculum. And so that was really well timed for us right now to be able to make use of that for kiddos. We do have our teachers are leading their activities classes. So currently we have our athletics program happening on a very small scale with lots of safety precautions in place, from masks and social distancing to extra cleaning procedures. But we also are able to offer some of our activities programs online right now during this time when we can't be on site.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us today, CJ. We know how busy you are, and you and Dr. Torrez, and so we appreciate your time. And again, anybody out there who's watching, if you have a question for any of our guests today, please feel free to post the question on our Facebook page or text me at 505-470-9843. And we'll turn next to Anita Bingas. She's one of our regular guests on our little forum. I want to call it a show. Can we call it a show? Our education show. And she is the oh my gosh, there I go again. Strategic Support Manager for UNM Taos. And Anita, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you so much, Staci. Appreciate you having us on. So a lot of people wonder what that exactly means, Strategic Support Manager. So I oversee our business operations, communications, and community outreach for campus, and other duties as assigned, which is a big bucket that catches a lot of other really great projects I get to participate in. And we really want to thank you, Staci, and the Taos News for providing this forum for Dr. Torrez and I to share with the community about what's happening at the Taos Municipal Schools and UNM Taos. I also want to thank CJ for all the work that she's doing at Taos High School, particularly in the area of the career technical and VOTech piece. And I'm really excited that we have the opportunity to continue the conversation about the CTE pathways. I'm really excited to have a special guest from UNM Taos today, a colleague and friend, Victoria S. Gonzales. She's the department chair for professional skills and community engagement. So we'll be hearing a little bit from her in just a moment. But before I turn it over, I just have a couple campus announcements. First, I want to start by saying a great big thank you, a big lobo gracias on behalf of the campus and the community to Taos County voters for their support on GO Bonds B and C, which passed across the state with a 65% approval rate, and in Taos County with a resounding 78% approval rate. So in doing so, we'll support Bond A for senior centers, and specifically benefiting UNM Taos is Bond B for libraries, and Bond C, which will bring $2.0 million into the campus for us to do security and ADA enhancements at Clower campus. So thank you for your support on that. So in terms of our COVID response, UNM Taos has been on remote operations since mid-March. We'll continue to do so through the spring semester, which starts in January and goes through May. And we do have a handful of essential employees on campus on an as-needed basis only, and a few face-to-face courses that we offered in the first 8 weeks of our fall semester, similar to what CJ was saying, those that really require that hands-on instruction and have a direct workforce connection, like the commercial driving license, which is really hard to teach how to drive a semi over Zoom, right, Victoria? And then, of course, our nursing program, which we are really excited that our most recent nursing cohort just passed their certification, their NCLEX exams at 100%. And that means that they'll be able to find employment right away. And they look forward to doing so at Holy Cross Medical Center. We continue to practice very strict COVID safe practices with the students and employees that are on campus, and are enforcing all of the local and state and federal guidelines, but also encouraging that our campus community take that personal responsibility to protect the pack, both on and off campus, and practicing those good CSPs. We're continuing with daily screening emails, temperature checks, mask wearing, distancing, hand washing and sanitizing, and limiting class sizes and the number of people in one office space at one time. So speaking of registration, starts for the spring semester on this coming Monday, the 9th, which is hard to believe that we're already at that point. Our classes don't begin until mid-January, but now is really the time to get started. Connect with an admissions officer and financial aid officer and advisor. They'll help you fill out your application, apply for financial aid, and start looking at the programs and courses that we're offering for the spring. So I'll pop the phone number and website in the chat for you to see that. I also want to thank, speaking of flu shot clinics, we were fortunate to work with Albertson's pharmacist, Yuri Bassan, and his team to conduct a public flu shot drive-through clinic at Clower on this past Monday. We got about 80 people come through and get vaccinated while staying in their cars and masked up. It was also open to the public, so we're really, really pleased to have been able to collaborate with Albertsons and provide that service to the community. If you miss it, I do encourage you to participate in the clinic that CJ mentioned. It's just really important that we all protect ourselves and each other from the flu virus, particularly this year. And then lastly, in terms of updates from campus, we're really excited to be launching November and the celebration of Native American Heritage Month, which was designated in 1990 by then President George W. Bush, who approved a joint resolution designating November as National American Indian Heritage Month. Taos, as you all know, sits on the traditional homelands of the Red Willow people of the Taos Pueblo. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations, and also acknowledge our committed relationship to the indigenous peoples. We gratefully recognize our history and work to maintain healthy and fruitful relationships with our neighbors for generations to come. And we invite you to celebrate Native American Heritage Month, and look out on our Facebook page and our email listservs for information and resources, including an event that will be coming up later in the month on Indian boarding schools and Thanksgiving and what that means from the indigenous lens. So that's all I have. And without further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita, so much. And thank you. This is indeed an honor to be here today. Thank you to the Taos News, the Taos Municipal Schools, and of course, UNM Taos for sponsoring this amazing forum. This is really a wonderful service that you're providing to the community. So thank you. And before I start on CTE, Career Technical Education at UNM Taos, I'd like to thank the Taos schools, particularly Dr. Torrez and Principal Grace. You have been wonderful partners with UNM Taos and how we deliver career technical education and education in general to the community. So thank you so much. As Anita mentioned, I am the Department Chair for Professional Skills and Community Engagement at UNM Taos. So I have the absolute privilege to oversee all of our really fun career tech programs. And we have several certificates. We have construction tech, woodworking, culinary arts, the commercial driver's license, CDL, office and business technology, computer technology, hospitality, IT, entrepreneurship, and we have 2 degrees, one in business and one in general studies. And we also have the Small Business Development Center that is in our department. So some wonderful people. We've also added 2 amazing staff members to our group, Hannah Smith and Montserrat Oyanana del Tolmo, who will be working in career technical education. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So just some fun things happening in career tech at UNM Taos. Some exciting things that are happening. We are very grateful to the Taos schools as they housed many of our career tech programs. It's always a good thing when your program becomes too big and you need to find more space. And that's basically what we're in the process of doing. So our construction tech program will be moving to some commercial space on Salazar Road, which will allow us to offer more in terms of construction and woodworking. We're also very excited to offer a 3D printing certificate. So this is new for us. And 3D printing is really very cool. And it is used in so many industries like architecture, engineering, dental and medical fields, fashion, footwear, jewelry. These all use 3D printing, and this knowledge could really help our students find gainful employment. Los Alamos Labs are also looking at hiring employees who have this skill. So definitely something that's fun and exciting for us. We're also starting what we call guided pathways, an IET. An IET is integrated education and training. So this is an adult education best practice, which will really help our students as they go through with their programs. And it's a 4-stage approach. So we clarify paths or these guided pathways or career pathways for our students. We help students get on the path. We help them stay on the path. And then we ensure that they are learning the skills that they need. And so this is a very interesting approach, and we're educating the entire students. So IET is, again, the integration of many different things. So we're not just looking at academic skills, we're looking at career skills and making sure students know what an in-demand career is and how to get the skills to obtain that. We're looking at professional skills and professionalism and emotional intelligence. So this is extremely crucial. So the studies are telling us that EQ, emotional intelligence, is a huge factor in how successful a person is going to be in a career. And it's interesting, I was in a Zoom meeting like this with IT professionals a few weeks ago, and they were telling us in higher education what they need for in order to employ people. And so of course, having IT skills is important, but the second most important skill that they look for in an employee is customer service and the ability to get along with their coworkers. So this was really kind of a profound statement for me because emotional intelligence is just absolutely crucial. And what I like to call not being a jerk at work and learning those skills so that you can be successful in your career. So another thing, with their career readiness is we work with our students on resume writing and how important it is to have a good, clean resume with a professional email address. Having partytillyopuke2020@gmail.com may not be the best email address to put on your resume. Save that for your friends. We also work on interviewing skills, things that we used to call soft skills, which I like to now call critical skills, and how important it is to be on time for work. And if you can't come in, you're going to call in, these types of things. We work on that with our students. Cover letters, interviewing, things that we just don't learn until we have to do it. And how, and especially now in this remote environment and how different it is. Zoom is a scary platform in which to do anything, correct? So we're working with our students to make sure that, to have a professional background when they're interviewing. So this may not be the best background to have in your interview, but you may have an hiring committee that loves KISS. So I'll go back to my to my no background. There we go. So just all of these things that are so important for our students to go out into the career world with these professional readiness skills. Another thing that I get to work on that I'm super excited about is community engagement. So I have the honor of working with Anita and several of our wonderful UNM Taos staff, including all of those people who are in the UNM Taos Hive. I'm just so honored to be part of that team. So if you're not familiar with that, UNM Taos Hive, Hive is the hub of internet-based vocations and education, a nationally award-winning program and place that we have in Taos. We're super excited about this. So Hive is really looking at diversifying our economy by upskilling and providing digital skills to our community. And so one thing that we've seen is in this remote platform, we have lots of parents and grandparents who are having to work with our young people at home. And so we'd like to offer a series of 1 credit hour classes that people can take to maybe improve their digital skills. So we'll learn more about that as we enter our registration process, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions if people may have. So it can be everything from, just how do I turn on my computer, right? How ironic is, we have to learn everything in this remote environment, to maybe some really good Zoom skills. And learning skills. And one thing that we've really tried to impress upon all of our students and our staff are just the importance of maintaining your regular schedule. Being on your computer at 8 o'clock and being ready for work and those types of things. So super important. So in professional skills, we're so fortunate to have some amazing program coordinators. Mark Goldman, Mario Vargas, Carla Nardi, Amos Chavez, Roberta Vigil, Joel Whitehead, Anwar Kalin. And so we're very fortunate to be able to offer many of our hands-on courses in a live format. As Anita mentioned, it's very hard to learn how to drive a semi in Zoom. So we do have to still have this instruction in a live format. Very, very grateful to our leadership. Our Chancellor, Dr. Valdez, our Dean, Dr. Archuleta, our doctoral candidate, Roberta Vigil. Our leadership has been amazing, and our facilities management have been amazing as well. So we offered several courses during the first 8 weeks of the semester, completely held my breath the whole time, but followed very close COVID safe practices. And short of encasing our students and our faculty in bubble wrap, we were, successful in being able to teach the courses. Again, it's very frightening, and it's very difficult to drive a truck in hot months with a mask, a shield, and gloves. But our students were able to do that. And that's really the only way that we can provide this live instruction, and grateful to our students and our faculty, and again, our facilities management, for following the CSPs to the T. Regardless of how difficult it was, extremely difficult. So in community engagement with Anita and wonderful people at UNM Taos, we're able to work on special projects like Business Alive. And I've also created a cultural and sensitivity diversity training for the EC COAD. One of the subgroups did ask me to do that in order to provide some training for people who will be working with those who are really facing the hardships that we have right now. One of the fun things that I get to do is non-credit workforce training in Taos. I work with Rocky Mountain Youth Corps, Taos County, Taos Pueblo. This is what we call customized training. These are all non-credit workshops. Anything that your business is looking for, we are more than happy to provide. So some of the things that we do: customer service, business communication, ethics in the workplace, time and stress management, which is extremely ironic that I teach that class because I should probably take that class. But these are all so really fun and just really good information that people can get in a short amount of time. Just all of that in a nutshell. I could talk about this all day long, and if you give me the opportunity, I will. Special thanks to our student worker, Sonia Santana, who has been just wonderful through this whole process and such a huge help. We're very, very grateful to the Taos community, as Anita mentioned, with the passage of the GEO bonds. Thank you, Taos. It is because of you that we have these wonderful, beautiful facilities at UNM Taos, and the wonderful facilities in the Taos schools, the libraries, the senior centers. Thank you so much. I, again, could go on forever, but we'll pass this back to my friend Anita, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Victoria. Sometimes I wish we had, we did have like a 1 hour series show that we could do, because we always have so much to talk about, both from the Taos Munis side and from the UNM Taos side. So thank you, Victoria. It's been just such an honor and a pleasure to work with you on all these really fun initiatives. So in closing for our piece, looking into getting into the time change and the long dark nights and getting into the winter season, I wanted to share just some community resources. This is my PSA version of this presentation. Some community resources available. One for the MFA has launched a rent and mortgage payment assistance program for folks that are, either laid off or struggling with COVID-related challenges paying rent or mortgage. They've launched their application and the deadline is November 13th to apply. Taos Feeds Taos, on which I serve on the board, has launched their application process rather than food boxes this year. We're doing a completely hands-free, not in-person programming, so we will not be at the armory filling food boxes. Instead, we will be providing for applicants a voucher, a grocery voucher for Super Save. And then lastly, through the EC COAD, we've put together a web with community resources, everything from for food assistance, COVID resources, mental, emotional supports, education, technical, et cetera, et cetera. So in the chat box on Facebook, I'm going to put links to those resources and just let the community know that there are supports and resources available to help in this time of need. Thank you, Staci.
Thank you, Anita, very much. Thank all of you, Dr. Torrez, CJ, Victoria, nice to see you again. And Anita, thank you for joining us. I know all of you are incredibly busy trying to provide the help that students of all ages need out in the community. And I want to thank the Taos community. It's an amazing community. Through EC COAD, through UNM Taos, through all of the various schools, and all the multitude of volunteers who stepped up to fix lunches for kids and make sure they don't go hungry, who've worked to try and make sure that, the town of Taos, even though Rick Bellis will laugh at me saying this, but I do think their Halloween drive-by, while I was a little trepidatious about that, went really well. And I know there were a lot of families who appreciated that. To our law enforcement and our first responders, everybody who's just pulled together to do the best they can in incredibly difficult circumstances. Our healthcare workers who every single day, along with first responders and law enforcement and teachers, put themselves at great risk. Our grocery store clerks, all of whom are putting themselves at risk in order to make sure that the community keeps functioning. So thank all of you. And we will see everybody back here in a couple of weeks, right before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you, Staci. Thanks, Dr. Torrez. Thanks, Maria. Appreciate you all.
Thank you, everybody. It was awesome to see you and be here with you.
Take care, everyone.
Same.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Bye-bye.
Take good care.